Hello there, dear viewer who just clicked on this video. Welcome to a Rimworld lore perspective, where I analyze Rimworld from a lore point of view. For today's lore, we'll be talking about the Neanderthals, humans. Unassuming and maybe not so interesting at first, but perhaps the closest to baseliners in terms of physiology. Neanderthals are a type of xenohuman that was created quite differently than the others. You see, while the other xenohumans, such as impids or Itaki, were a result of biological and DNA laboratory manipulation, Neanderthals were in fact brought back to life, resurrected from very ancient DNA, as Neanderthals existed since the very beginning, but disappeared after the species was slowly replaced or merged with the ancestors of the baseliners. They had practically gone extinct for tens of thousands of decades until scientists managed to bring them back for what we can assume to be a colonization purpose, experimentation, or pure scientific study and curiosity. Nowadays, Neanderthals mainly inhabit Rimworlds or sub-societies of colonized worlds. On Rimworlds, they live the same as their original ancestors on Earth did, by hunting, gathering, and fighting while maintaining a primitive state of technological advancement. But what Neanderthals lack in intelligence and progress, they make up for extremely powerful bodies. Back when they originally existed, the only factor that kept you alive was pure brute strength, a powerful immune system, and the ability to survive harsh conditions, as the comforts of home, safety, warmth, or grocery stores to get food from were non-existent. Neanderthals are excellent warriors. They have genetically evolved with strong bulky bodies, making them absolutely capable melee fighters, as they can swing a mace with enough strength to put a dent even in the most resistant types of plasteel armor. They feel less pain than baseliners do, which, in similar fashion to a hussar, allows them to fight and take far more punishment than others before succumbing into shock from pain and passing out. They are also more resistant to heat and cold, likely due to the fact that ACs were probably rather scarce during their times. Speaking of scarcity, pharmaceutically talking, medicine hadn't made much progress other than the traditional cure of sleeping it off, thus giving Neanderthals the option to either develop a strong immune system or die to the vast variety of illness present back at the time, which would be likely obtained from a variety of factors, such as a lack of proper food preservation techniques, malaria from mosquitoes, or various airborne germs, bacteria, or viruses that were present virtually everywhere. Their big, strong, bulky bodies, though, come with a few downsides. The first downside is that they are on average slower than baseliners. They might have strong legs, but they are after all carrying a lot of weight after them. The second downside is that bodies like that most likely require a heavy amount of protein to be kept in shape, which left quite a small share of protein for their brains, making them incredibly slow learners. A Neanderthal, after all, only needed to know one thing and one thing only: lift heavy branch or big rock and swing it hard at something that's moving until it's moving no more. Bonus points if it looks good to it. Aesthetically, their bodies are similar to baseliners, although genetically they will never have a thin body type. The only noticeable differences are on their faces. Neanderthals have rather big and heavy jaws, likely intended for masticating, chewing, and reaping meat. Their brows are also rather large and prominent, another likely intended feature to protect their already thick skull. From a mental point of view, Neanderthals have aggressive personalities. Diplomacy is not on their repertoire, and they will most likely interact with the world around them with their bodies rather than with their minds, which will also apply to any sort of conflict. Door won't open when you push it because it's a pull type of door? Smash that door. Baseliner with an annoying voice won't stop complaining about being forced to eat a meal without a table. Cave their skull in and they'll be quiet. Neanderthals live in fierce tribes. They do not completely refuse the notion of trading for resources with other tribes or colonies, but they are very unfriendly and territorial, and will most likely attack even if left unprovoked. As most Neanderthal tribes have been living on Rimworld for countless generations, it is likely that they wouldn't even remember how they got there in the first place. They might be the descendants of a Neanderthal service cast from a dead civilization, or even the leftovers from some ancient science experiment, likely meant to observe and study their distinguishing features that allowed them to survive during some of the roughest and wildest points in history. Other than that, they can be rarely found living among pirates or outlander unions, and some can even be found as members of the Shattered Empire, most likely taking the role of guards or protectors for the nobles in the high hierarchy. As always, Thank you for watching this video. We are so close to reaching 1000 subscribers, which will represent a great milestone for me. When I started this series around 1 month ago, I only had around 250 subscribers, and reaching almost 1000 in this time span is absolutely incredible. I also rejoice in reading your comments, as you seem to appreciate these videos, which highly motivates me to continue making them, along with giving me tips and constructive criticism to improve the overall quality. Once again, thanks for all of your support, and I will see you in my next video. Have a good night.